what's the reason behind Nadal not? Do you think it's just because
I think the Olympic gold medal is something that he has had his eyes on
for
for
a
a
very
long
long time?
time.
Okay.
So I think he has underachieved in that aspect. So he wants to achieve that before he calls it quits on his career. And I don't see it as a bad idea. He has won the Wimbledon before.
Yes,
Already.
that's 2008,
It's
2010.
yeah. So I think if he can cap this one off as the missing piece that is in his trophy cabinet, I mean, why not? We give ourselves goals all the time, and maybe this is a goal that he has given himself, and he has tried to work towards it. And we also know the history he has with injury and coming short in tournaments because of injury.
Yeah.
And yes, it's also owing to the fact that he's getting closer and getting older. So I would say I back him up with
Okay.
the decision to skip the Wimbledon and face the Paris Olympics. Well, we would also say it's not about what he's going to earn, because we do know that he's going to earn more from playing in Wimbledon, and we have seen a kind of increase in prize money.
Yes,
For
definitely.
this year's tournament. So I don't think it's about the money. I think it's first of all for the personal achievements. First of all for as a player who wants to succeed in every competition, he is eyeing the Olympics as something that is missing in his trophy cabinet, like I said earlier, and he would like to have it on his neck. He would like to wear the gold medal, and if he can go out and achieve it, if he feels that he can achieve it, why not?
If he feels that he can actually achieve it. But do you think actually stepping out, not really competing, or do you think he's actually trying to avoid any injury?
Well, given the close proximity to competitions, I feel
Yes.
he's also trying. He would like. I know every player would like to feel and look sharp in a new tournament or a new competition. So
competition.
I feel yes, maybe he's trying to save himself the stress, save himself the strength, and also focus fully on the Olympics. And if he wants it and he know he needs it, so he's going to focus fully on the Olympics and try to achieve that.
What if it doesn't go well with him? What if during the Olympic he just falls out easily?
Well, if that's the case, then that is how history wants it to be. He can only try. He can
Yes,
only try.
definitely, he can only try. So he can only try, do his best, do what he is prepared for, and let's see if luck is going to work for him. Now, over to sports business. Like I said, we are keeping it simple, keeping it short and bad, but we are also keeping it very, very interesting. Over to sport business. Liberty Global has taken a controlling stake in Formula One, in Formula E, after acquiring shares in the electric motor racing series held by media company Warner Bros. Discovery.
Well, you see that money is a very vital part of sports, and it's a very integral part in whatever we do in life, and whatever investment that one is looking to make, you are also looking to make money out of it.
Definitely.
And I think this Formula E is more or less like a new sport owing to the new developments in electronic vehicles. So they are trying to, will I say, make another sport out, or give another option from the regular Formula
One that
1
we are
and the
used to,
Formula 2. We are used to Formula 1. So I think they are trying to make a whole new sport, also thriving for the global sustainability, and also to reduce the carbon footprint around the world when it comes to carbon emission from these motor spirited engines. So I think it's a good one, but they also need publicity. They also need money to keep it going. They also need
it's actually
funding.
it's a new market.
Yeah, it's a new market. Yeah,
And you see, Liberty Global has just decided to let's just dive into it. And for every new business like this, I think their shares will be very, very cheap. To get into it will be very, very easy. But when it gets to the time they become global name and global market, it becomes very expensive, because then the bidders will be higher. People who wants to invest in it investors will be higher. So it's a good one, and congratulations to Liberty Global for seeing the market and deciding to
invest in it
sharply.
I think investing in it early is that's the key.
That's the
Because
key.
at the end of the day, we have seen the emergence of electric vehicle, especially owing to how expensive petrol is around the world, owing to crisis, in Ukraine and, in Gaza as well. So I think this is the future of let's say motor racing. This is the future of
even generally, apart from race, generally.
Exactly. It transcends from the commercial use now to the sports, and you see that in maybe 2 decades to come, we'll say goodbye to petrol engines, and we'll definitely welcome electronic vehicles. And these people trying to create a segment out of in sports out of electronic vehicle that is giving a market for these engines to also run, these electronic vehicles to also run. So you can have manufacturers come in and compete. It makes it lucrative. It makes it well, I say big.
Makes more big.
Big. So I think it's good. It's our future anyway. So why not embrace it now and strive towards making it a global something or a global thing? Or maybe they'll be looking towards the future and say, Formula One now have its first electronic vehicle, that can compete hand in hand with this petrol spirited, or let's say the PMS engines. So if they can sustain this, make it lucrative, why not?
And they are making it lucrative already. So it's a very good, it's a welcome development and a very good decision. And secondly, if like I said earlier, Warner Bros. We all know Warner Bros. To be a media company who is involved in making good movies. But now look at how they are.
I think it's diversifying your attention. They have been able to identify.
Yes, they've seen that there is good money in sports. A lot of them, even the other time we saw when the hardware laptop producers, HP had to also invest in. I think it's one of these sport as well. They had to just to get their name more open to them. You get things like that. So there is good money when it comes to sports, like a lot of money.
Regardless of just the money, I think the being relevant and also the publicity that they can be able to garner from just being sponsors alone. I mean, a lot of people from a different part of the world are not used to maybe seeing this particular service provider or used to seeing this product up in their own local market, but from their interest in Formula E would be able to see that, okay, this which company is this? Okay, research, what did they provide? What services did they provide? So I think it's kind of also, regardless of the money that they are going to make or regardless of the investment, is also shows to say publicity also is also an integral part of every investment and also an integral part of making income. Because if you don't publicize, who's going to know who you are or know what you're doing?
If you don't publicize,
so I think we're moving. Let's move on.
Okay. Global Players Union FIFPro has backed an unprecedented legal challenge to world governing body FIFA over the expansion of the international calendar to include a 32-team club World Cup.
Well, most people feel like having more clubs, more clubs compete makes it makes it interesting or more difficult or competitive. I feel we enjoyed it before when we have different continental winners from across the world come and compete. I mean, we are talking of, these are stars. These are champions, let me say it as that. These are champions, known champions in different, continents. And it gives room to, for you to challenge stars or successful clubs from different continents. And you say, okay, this is the champion of the world when it comes to club football.
Yeah.
But adding different teams now, it affects the football calendar. We are forgetting that these players need their own rest as well, because
some of them don't even rest.
They don't get rest. I mean, we just ended the regular football season, and we're having Euro start this.
And maybe Euro is ending.
They'll start playing preseason. Preseason is also there, and it is very important, especially for income as well for the clubs, because that preseason they take it to other countries, they take it to other continents, they take it to other states to play this football, to get closer to the fans in other states,
and even for coaches to understand their players before
the so I I think it's a good idea, but then it's not favorable for the players and for the sustainability and also for the importance of that competition. I mean, we're talking about FIFA Club World Cup. I know how when you come out and you win like champions of the world, you wear the badge and you're very proud. So, making it a full-blown competition now where you have 32 man or 32 teams coming to compete is just adding more fixtures to the already hectic fixtures for these players and for this club.
So please, we should go with what we still have for now. Anyway, it's theirs, but not ours to decide. So Premier League side Crystal Palace has signed a record 2-year deal with Asia betting firm Net88, opting to continue to make hay from the sector before the league-wide ban in betting sponsorship. So this is actually the season where everybody this is the period where brand renew their sponsorship with different clubs and different organizations. So congratulations to Crystal Palace as well. Congratulations to.
But owing to the fact that the Premier League is also they are also going against having betting club sponsorship printed boldly, because they are trying to. I mean, it's their own way of trying to reduce the menace of football betting or sports betting. You get, because they have seen a lot of people take their life from losing bets, take their life from losing properties when they bet. So they are trying to discourage betting, especially underage betting. So I think by 2020, by the end of 2025-2026 season, Premier League clubs will stop branding their jerseys with betting companies. So I think Crystal Palace is trying to cash in on this opportunity right now
because it's going to be cheap.
Yeah, it's not the fact that it's going to be cheap. It's going to, I think, going to give them more bargaining power, because this is going to be the last time.
Yeah,
they have 2 years until the ban is enacted, and they are cashing in on it now that they still have liberty to do it. So I guess it's business strategy. They could have had any other brand take it, but I think it's like the highest bidder won at the end of the day.
Yeah. Over to Euro. Let's talk about Euro. Like we said on Wednesday, the Euro is starting today, 14th of June, and the first game for the Euro competition is against Scotland and Germany. Two mighty football teams.
Yeah,
it's a good start. This alone tells you that the competition is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah,
it's going to be very, very competitive. Let's see the outcome of this. What's your take on Germany facing the Scotland facing Germany?
Well, I feel this is where Germany will actually show us how ready
ready they are.
For this competition. How much of a challenger they are, or how much of a, let's say, a contender for this they are. Because when you look at the likes of the France team, you look at the English, you look at Spain, they are proving beyond doubts. When you talk about the Portuguese, they're proving beyond doubts that they won this. I mean, look at the squad that they have been able to put together. Now, when you look at Scotland as well, they are not easily thrown under the carpet. You cannot easily surmount them, because they are units that is very well drilled. They are very their togetherness is high. They know what they want. They know how to stay in games. When you think you have killed them, you just see that they come out with a draw. Yeah. So I feel like this one game is particularly going to be very significant for the Germans, and if they can win this one, then we can say yes, they really have an argument to put out there that they are real contenders for this. And Scotland will be led by Robertson, who is a Liverpool left back, and we know, aside from that, they have McTominay. They have McTominay. They are very resilient. They have good players.
They have players with good stamina.
They play in Scottish League and play in Premier League and across the world. So I feel it's going to be a tough test for Germany, and they need to show. I mean, they have the experience. They don't lack experience. They have champions in their squad.
They have champions.
They have young, exciting players in Germany that can, change the trajectory of any match. They have Toni Kroos, a maestro in the midfield that can also do wonders on the
So
ball.
basically, Charles, because with all your analysis and your contribution so far, it's as if you have given the win to Germany.
I'm also trying to point it out that it's not going to
They-
be an easy win if they win.
But that they have everything that it takes.
They have everything that it takes.
Okay.
They have a good manager that knows what he wants, that has a
And
very nice philosophy.
They have the good team.
They have a good team. They have been able to assemble a mixture of young talent and experience in their side. So I feel, even Nicolas Füllkrug, who thought that, his career must have, started to dwindle. That was when he started to pick form. I mean, at 30.
Wow.
When other players are, going down the barrel, that's when he's coming up. So they have exciting players. I mean, there's the Sani, come on.
I think the Jama club, the Jama national team, they have they have one of the best complete team for this tournament as it stands. Well, let's see what happened. The game is the game West African time is by 8 p.m. Let's see what happens.
For the fact that they are the hosts. You get it. The last time a host made it to the final was in France when they played Portugal at the Stade de France, but they lost that one. But that was the last time the host, hosted this competition and made it up to the final. So I feel it's in their hands.
Yeah,
also, England too hosted it and got to the final in 2020.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But for me, I feel the game is going to end a draw. I feel the game is going to end a draw.
Well, it's not far-fetched, given how Scotland can, frustrate any team, no matter the firepower you have.
Okay, over to rumor. Let's talk. Let's see what is happening in the transfer markets. Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey is close to finishing a move to Saudi Arabia.
Well, for me, it's no surprise there, really. I think.
I'm saying they should let him go.
Yes, because they have successfully replaced him.
And they've also used him.
Yeah, they have, but I would say they have not gotten the worth for their money.
Yes.
Because they've really come short of winning the Premier League twice. And Thomas Partey was a season winner where he was coming from at Atletico Madrid. He knows how to compete. It's not like he fell off or at any point. He was a top player and he showed his class when he first came to Arsenal. So he has a thing with injury, which is no surprise to anybody really. So he kind of had this brief period where he was off from playing for Arsenal, where he was not really getting game time. We saw the same thing with El Neni.
Yeah.
When he came in the side, he was a week in, week out performer for Arsenal. So when he was starting to have those injuries, I think that was when they thought it was time for him to be replaced. And even when he came from the injury, he still performed well for Arsenal. So I'm just saying it's no surprise because
I feel they should still keep him for one more season.
They already have Declan Rice. They have Jorginho that can fit perfectly in that position.
True.
So for me, I feel it's time for him to say his goodbyes. He has
he can go to Saudi and to make
money.
Saudi money.
For everyone, that's the important. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne came out and said that he can listen to offers from Saudi now because he has actually achieved everything.
He has won everything. So
yeah.
For someone like Kelvin, he can leave for now. Because he has got,
that's why I say it's not a surprise for Thomas Partey to start considering.
And last season Thomas didn't really play much because of this injury thing you just spoke about. So he should just move to Saudi to make more money, make good money. Manchester United expected to make formal approach for Everton defender Brent Waite.
No, I think they have already made an approach. As at yesterday evening,
now they said
reports have it that they have been able to come to an agreement with the player. So now they are looking to discuss the sign out the trigger the clause on his contract. But now that's when they have to talk to the clubs and come to an agreement on the sign-out fee. He's an exciting player. He's young. He's young. There's still longevity in his career that Man United can exploit to their advantage, given that Maguire is not performing. I mean, he was left out of the Euros. He's injury prone right now because he's coming to the end of his career, and they need someone that can complement what Lisandro Martinez is doing.
Yeah, they need someone that can complement it. And if there's something I liked about this young man is I like his height.
Yeah, the height is always the quality
Come
for
on.
English defenders,
You-
really,
you-
because
it
when
is like that.
Martinez came,
I know he was criticized
he was
because of his
criticized for
height.
his height,
Yeah.
and Jamie Carragher came out to say a lot of things about if he is able to compete, and he proved those guys wrong.
So having someone like him and Martinez
To
at the back, I know
complement Martinez,
definitely
yeah,
it's going to be a
is
good
yeah.
good
And
collaboration.
to think that Manchester United are trying to get young players than build for the future. They are trying to start a new project in their club existence right now. They are forgoing the era where they bought stars or
Old
buying
players
old
with
players
with,
with
with big money,
big money. You get it? So they are trying to build something for the future, and
I know
he will be a very good player in their project.
it's going to be a good thing when it's better you have a set of young players who can work together. So that one, there's going to be a long reign of winning trophies, and just like what happened to Man City.
Yeah, no, so Man City.
And Arsenal, if you see Arsenal as it stands
Yeah.
now, they are the competitive team. They are actually I say they are one of the most complete team in Premier League as it stands. So
I think Sir Alex showed that
the same, yes,
when he first took charge of Manchester United. Even though they had he had a very rough start, but he showed that getting young players and putting in their mentality what your philosophy and how you want them to play early on to carry up to their. I mean, Ryan Giggs, he was there for how many? 11, 12 years, and he still had that same mentality even when Sir Alex left, and he was still able to play at that top level because they were drilled from the young age, right from the academy. Look at the Beckhams. The mentality has been there. So I think this is the new project, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe has also seen that as a potential for success in the future. Buying young players, grooming them into how you want them to, to play, how you want your team, the style you want your team to play. But at the moment, Manchester United doesn't have any style of play. They just play on counter, and everybody just all over the place. But if you have a young talent, a young squad mixed with experience and talent, and you'll be able to get them to, show this style of play that you want them to.
But don't you think? In as much as the club tries to get young players to build a team around the young players, don't you think it's also good for them to give whoever is managing this player long term? For example, let's take the case of Pochettino in Chelsea. After a season, they sent him. They had an agreement, and he.
Well, I feel like the issue with Pochettino was more or less like a disagreement with how
so for a club like Chelsea that actually wants to build that also wants to start winning trophies. So I think they'll still want a situation where they would like to build a club around young players, but a situation whereby they keep changing coaches. Each coach comes with his own style. Each coach comes with his own. In as much as the club's ultimate philosophy is what the coach is supposed to follow, but he still comes with his own style and his own philosophy, blending it with that of the club. But I think it affects player more. So what do you think should be a situation? What should be the resolution to club dropping their managers probably for underperforming in a particular season? Especially a manager that is trying to get used to the player, and players are trying to get used to.
Well, I think is understanding generally is if they are able to have understanding from the coach, the board, the whoever is in charge of recruitment, and generally is what they have agreed. So if they see at the end of the season that okay, we have not achieved, when you assess how they have done in the season,
with how much they spent.
Exactly, a lot of things go into considering whether a manager should stay or leave. The fans play a major role. We saw it when they were saying Ten Hang out. So after FA Cup, the fans are like, let him stay.
One more season.
Two cups in 2 seasons.
3 finals.
And 3 finals is a good record. But how they have fared in the league is abysmal. Regardless of that, having something to cheer at the end of the season was enough. I felt that was what saved Ten Hag. But I also feel like they need to qualify for Champions League because as a club as Manchester United or Chelsea, with the big reputation they have going for them, I think that's the ideal competition they should be looking at for playing in the Champions League, playing amongst the big boys. It doesn't also come with identifying with the big boys. It also comes with the money that you get. Any stage in the Champions League you get money. So I guess that is also important.
Okay, that is also important. Chelsea and Newcastle approached Crystal Palace over signing Olise. There's this proverb we used to make in Delta State or in PG. We use PG. So now we're waiting sweet, and I fly the bench. I'm plenty fly the bench.
Manchester United are also in the contending
for signing. I know, but I think they left the race.
They haven't. Yeah, I think they're just trying to sort out the Sancho situation first, and sort out
Greenwood's situation,
Greenwood as well, and Anthony. Anthony is also on the list of players going out. So I think Olise is an outstanding player.
As in for years,
he comes back from injury and he kicks in. He doesn't wait 2 games, 3 games to get his. He's an exciting player. He's young. He's what everybody wants.
Okay, looking at Chelsea and Newcastle, which club do you think he might actually fit in perfectly?
Of course, he would fit in with Chelsea because I would say Chelsea is more or less like a club that has a lot of young players. So everybody is fighting for their place. So he would go in there.
There's more competition there in Chelsea
compared to Newcastle. Newcastle, he would just slot right in.
Immediately.
I don't think Miguel Almiron is the only contender on that left right wing where he's comfortable at. Yeah. I don't see Murphy posing any threats for Olise. So it's more or less like if Olise goes to Newcastle, he'll slot right in. But then there's also a question of whether he's going to play in Europe and all that. Chelsea will give you an opportunity to play in Europe, if not this season, but next season. They have a project they're building. Well, for a player, everybody wants to identify with greatness. Everybody wants to identify with Chelsea, and Chelsea gives you what? Gives you the outlook you want. Being snubbed by France, even though I can say he has performed well than even Ousmane Dembele.
That was
called up. I would say it will be a letter for him. So he'll be looking for a much higher move for him to be able to get France call up or the French call up and compete for his national team.
Okay. What's next for Sancho and Manchester United? The story is still.
I feel like that is a sour marriage that has finally come to its end because for them to put a price tag of 40 million on him, I think for Sancho, he's an exciting player. We know the reputation that he had.
Even the 40 million that they put on him, how many clubs are coming for him?
Exactly. Nobody's coming for him. Because attitude goes a long way to play as in your career.
We had this discussion on Wednesday talking about his approach towards what the coach said. He's still your coach, still your manager. So now you see, no, even the same club, the same. Borussia Dortmund, I said he doesn't have this.
They are obviously limited by the amount of money they can spend because how successful were they last season?
If you think if the club if the player really means a lot to you, definitely you want to do something.
40 million is I feel is also goes in or weighs in about the. No player wants to receive less or get paid less. He knows what he's receiving at Manchester United at the moment on his contract. So
if he cares about that, he wouldn't have come out and said those things that he said.
Well, regardless of what he said, he's still being paid. He's signed the contract. So I feel they look at that too and say, okay, can we be able to match what Manchester United is paying this lad? Because if he is going to leave Manchester United and come to Borussia Dortmund, we have to give him a lucrative offer. If not above what he's being paid, maybe something close. So I think for Sancho, it's just Sancho and Manchester United, I just feel is a marriage that has unfortunately come to a sour or bitter end, and the two must part ways because there is no rectifying it because Erik ten Hag is still the manager in the helms of affairs. So since the two cannot see eyeball to eyeball, I think it's time for one person to look away and
manage. But do you think there is something Sancho would have done differently? Like of
course, there are things that he would have done differently because
make this.
He's subordinate under this person. He's also a subordinate under the club. So you are supposed to represent your club, regardless of whatever personal beliefs you have. You're supposed to come out and represent your club because that is where you are getting your daily bread. That is who you are representing, and that
And
is
the
who
club
you
they
are
feed you.
and that is who you are bound under to, by contract, by
Yeah.
virtue of contract. So I think he did not handle the situation well. But that's by the way now. So he's just looking to the future. And I think the future for Sancho is either look for a club outside or Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia, but nobody has even made a move for him yet. It's actually, it's should I say it's a sad one for me for a player like Sancho.
Yeah, because
Young,
he's a
young.
Manchester United, you're a Manchester United fan. You can't hide that.
No, no,
But I
no,
just
no,
feel
no, no. I feel for a young player like Sancho, if okay, imagine putting such an amount on. I think the reason why no Saudi club has actually made a move on Greenwood yet was because of that scandal. I think that scandal issue, and you know things like that. But for
Well, I
Sancho,
also think that is why Greenwood is flying under the radar because he's being, I would say, he's overshadowed by the Sancho issue, the Sancho saga.
yeah, the Sancho
I feel
saga.
Manchester United feel like they can keep Greenwood because nobody is coming out to really say anything about Greenwood at the moment. They just want it to fly under the radar, and I think they see his potential.
If
He's a very good
if
player.
Manchester United keeps Greenwood, then I don't think they will have any need of going for Olise.
For Olise as well, yeah, and it will cost them absolutely nothing.
As in nothing. But you know, some certain things that we do in the name of anger can actually lead to can either destroy our career or even destroy our life in person. And so we should be mindful of what we do. Especially in this era where you can actually use your phone to record and to video anything, we should be mindful of that. So it's a wrap for now. I still remember Humble Self Kevin if you have, but guys, do not forget to like, share, and comment on every of our programs and every of our discussion. If there's anything you think we said that was not in line with what you believe, just share your thoughts. We actually want to hear from you, and we want to know your view about what was said. And do not forget the game between Scotland and Germany today by 8 p.m. West African time. And from me to you, I'm saying I love you and have a wonderful weekend.
All right, my beautiful people, it's a wrap. It's the weekend. It's cozy. It's cold. And we are in the Euros 2024 officially. I'm looking forward to the game between Scotland and Germany. It's time for the hosts to show us what they can do and what they will do because I feel like they're going to come up top. So, cheers to a happy weekend. Cheers to a football-filled weekend. I'll see you on Monday. I still remain Charlie Montero, the secretary of the eligibles. See you next Monday.